welcome in. Let me make sure everything's working. My microphone. Okay, we're all good. Hello, and nice to meet you, Amity. And welcome in, everyone. Welcome if you're watching this as a replay, as a VOD. I know I'm live pretty early this morning. Or I guess, wait, it's not as early as I thought I would be live. But it always takes longer to get ready, you know what I mean? Well, welcome in. I have got my decaf coffee with cocoa in it. So it's kind of like a hot chocolate and a coffee. And can you see it steaming? I actually don't know if you can see it steaming. It's really... Oh, wait! If I hold it there, I think you can. If I hold it over like the dark areas, yeah? Let me know if you're drinking something, and welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little rundown of everything that we're going to do today. So welcome in. We've got a full moon in Leo tomorrow on Sunday, and I thought this would be a wonderful time to talk about Leo, and we're also going to do a Leo full moon journal prompt. So if you want to get your journals ready for later, then that'll be perfect. And we're also going to start with a flower essence affirmation at the beginning and the end. We're going to talk about Leo. We're going to talk about the virtue of Leo according to Anthroposophy. And we'll see how it relates to the flowers they're connected to. And then at the very end, I'll be giving you your journal prompt. So you can take that with you. You can journal along with me. I'll be doing it too. So I'll tell you some of my own personal reflections with the journal prompt. So yeah, welcome. So we're going to start with the Leo flower essence, which is vervain. And vervain is, so this is one of the 12 healers. So there are 12 main essences that Dr. Bach first discovered and associated it with, personality types. And other people have since associated that with the zodiac. So this is kind of the one that I've found that goes with Leo. And it also happens to be one that I consider a type remedy for myself. Like I'm always taking it, basically. And first, let me read you the affirmation, and then we'll talk a little bit about vervain. Oh, fantastic, Amity! Well, that's perfect. I might be introducing some concepts in astrology, like from some different perspectives, because we'll be looking at it from the perspective of the flowers. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of Anthroposophy, which is a little different, but it's like actually kind of incredible how it all connects. So I'll be curious to hear what you think. Amber, welcome in. Thank you for the vibe appreciation. I appreciate you. Okay, I've just got my notes here. I'm just gonna add one thing here. Okay, so let me read you this vervain affirmation and then we can talk about it. So you can center yourself and you can call in vervain if you'd like and kind of allow this to wash over you, see how it lands. I am filled with passion for my ideals. My flame is tempered through fellowship. Wait, what just happened? Amber! Oh, thank you for resubscribing. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Ooh, let me get you, you know what? Let me give Amber her Hummingbird card, and then we'll do the vervain. I meant to get that deck. Oh, there it is. Amber, I appreciate you so much. How have you been liking your essences, by the way? Oh, we're gonna connect it all, Amity. I pulled an oracle card, and I'm also gonna be pulling a tarot card as part of the journal prompt to pull a tarot card. Which actually, you're welcome, no pressure. But if you're welcome to join our Discord. There's actually a tarot bot. If you don't have a deck, there's a spot it says divination tent, and you can actually pull a card for yourself like that. And that's one way to do it if you don't have a deck. But we'll just be discussing. Yeah, and you can feel free to share when we get to the journal prompt part, whatever it is that you pull. And oh, you'd be lost without them. They're amazing. Amber, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. I feel the same way. And actually, oh, I have something I want to read to you too. Sorry for all the interruptions. We will get to Vervain, but I'm so inspired. Okay, so let's first start with a hummingbird card for Amber. This is for Amber. We have flying solo. Here we go. It says, your wings are strong. You can rely on and trust resources to carry you forward successfully. So you have everything you need. You have everything you need right with you right now. Oh, Amity, that's awesome. I wouldn't consider myself a master in astrology. I'm just interested in it, especially how it relates. Like my main work has been tarot. And then I'm moving into more and more with flower essences. And then astrology, I'm just like really interested in how it relates to everything, if that makes sense. So I've got a bit of it, you know, but I'm not like a master in astrology. Oh, you can know someone's past life from astrology. That's really cool. You'll have to let me know how to do that, because actually I've been wondering about that. You're from India. I've also been really interested in like the differences with sidereal and tropical. So I don't know if this full moon is in Leo in sidereal astrology. I meant to look at that, if that's the case. Probably isn't, right? But regardless, the topic of Leo will relate no matter what with anything that is in Leo with either sign at any point. So what we're talking about today is kind of universal. It's not just for tomorrow. It's also for, oh, if you have Leo placements, or oh, if you come to a time of Leo. So yeah. Amber, let me read this to you, because there's this flower essence combination, which I can make for you anytime, by the way. It's a combo of flower essences that are really good for childhood. And there's an affirmation that goes along with it. It's called the kindergarten mix. I've got all the ingredients to make it. I ordered them specifically. But anyway, Arthur takes that one, and we read this affirmation together, which I'm also happy to send to you, just regardless. I should post it anyway. But listen to this. It is so sweet, and he loves it. By the way, Amity, since you don't know me, my son, Arthur, he's 5. And Amber has a daughter as well, who's a little younger. Okay, so it says, my angel protects me from above. Round me circles mother's tender love. My heart shines strong with father's sun, and I can beam my love to everyone. Here on earth is the best place to be. I shall play and be free, so happy to be me. And he just has the biggest smile. He repeats it. I just read one line and then he repeats it. And I read another and he repeats it. And even just that alone, even if he wasn't taking the essences, like it brings him so much joy. And it's been so nice to start the mornings that way. So I love this affirmation deck. It's just so great. I know it kind of made, when I first did it, and my husband Lars was there listening, it made us both tear up. We were like, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful, you know? I'll be sure to post that. Ooh, let me put it in my stream notes. It's been a while since I've used those. Oh, there's a birthday in our Discord. Who is it? Oh man, I'm on streamer mode. I'm on streamer mode and I can't see. Let me disable it. Rcast! Everyone go wish Rcast a happy birthday, please, if you would like. Happy birthday, Rcast. All right. Stream notepad. Post kindergarten affirmation. Okay, I'll be sure to post that. I hadn't used that in a while. It's kind of nice to use that. All right. Where were we? Vervain. Okay, yeah, so vervain, like I said, so vervain is actually a remedy that I really use and I really, really relate to. I want to read you the affirmation before we talk about what it's generally used for, but it is connected to the sign of Leo. I do have a placement in Leo, and now I'm forgetting which one it is. But here we go. Okay, vervain. Here's the flower again. If you want to kind of center yourself, connect to the flower, you can call it in if you would like. It'll hopefully be helpful for everyone this full moon, since it's related to Leo. All right, here we go. I am filled with passion for my ideals. My flame is tempered through fellowship. My ideals become real when hearts are left free. I give my light to others with love. So, vervain is often a remedy for if you're like just so passionate about something and it just fills you up and it kind of overflows and you can't help but share it with everyone that you talk to, like the things that are on your mind or the things that you're feeling passionate about. It's like you could imagine, oh, this could help everybody. I just really want to give. I really want to share. I really want to. And I find, so for myself, I'm totally that type. And I've really had to pull it back because it can actually be kind of off-putting to people who aren't as interested in whatever it may be, be that family members or just whoever, it's literally anyone. I'm like, oh, I want to do this for you. I want to make you this remedy. I want to read your cards. I want, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit over the top. I've been reading this. Oh, and there's this concept. And I'm just, I just can't help it. It like bubbles up with me and it kind of overflows. So that's how I experience it. And that's why I personally take vervain a lot. And yeah, it's like and so in taking it, I do feel more patient to kind of wait for someone to ask for it or to kind of for the door to sort of be opened, like, oh, this is the right opportunity. And I definitely still have that in me, so I'm still working with it. But it's really interesting for that to come with Leo, because Leo, it's like the sun. It's this shining forth sort of a sign where it's like connected to the heart, it's connected to the sun and raying out. It's like the lion, like you want to really express yourself, and it's wonderful. I always think of Leo as being connected to creativity. But the other side of vervain that I wanted to mention, since we're talking about it, is that you can end up having like really high expectations for yourself, because you have these high ideals, like it's talking about, these high ideals, these high expectations for yourself, and it ends up actually being a restrictive feeling. So it's actually a remedy that people take a lot of times for stress and for tension. Yeah. So again, I relate to Leo as being like heart creativity, and I also appreciate that this Leo full moon comes at this time of year when it's about to be Imbolc. It's about to be, or Candlemas, February 1st and 2nd, and the full moon is falling on the 1st, which is tomorrow. At the time that I'm recording this, it's tomorrow. And Imbolc is actually one of my favorite of the 8 Sabbats in the Wheel of the Year, the Celtic Wheel of the Year. It's one of my favorites. I say that about everyone every time they come. But there's something about it, it's very subdued. Like oftentimes you aren't doing something, big and grand, a big community celebration or anything like that. With Imbolc, it's often kind of like within the home, maybe something even simple like lighting a candle or pulling a card, or just sort of like setting a prayer or an intention for this next, year ahead. It's coming out of the new year, so it doesn't have the same kind of like big strong pressure, big strong like celebration of the new year. It's coming out of that, but it still has this feeling of like anticipation, like what's coming. And of course, the sun has been born again. If you're in the northern hemisphere, everything is getting lighter and lighter. And so so there's this feeling of like spring is coming and it's not here. I mean, right now where I'm recording, I'm looking at the window at so much snow. We got like at least 2 feet of snow. I didn't actually hear the exact measurement, but it is the most amount of snow that I've ever seen. We've got like huge piles. So it is definitely, we're still in the depth of winter, but we feel that light returning. And I think of springtime as being such like a rejuvenating time, especially for creativity and birthing new things and creating new things. And so now here in Imbolc, we can kind of light that inspiration, like light that hope and light that forward thinking of what is that and what could that be. So I love that there's a Leo sort of, full moon, but like a Leo energy kind of plugged into this time where we've got that, beautiful light, again, connected to the sun, connected to creativity and that raying out. Question for me. In affirmation and manifestation, the word thoughts more like, okay, wait, what are you asking, Emily? The word thoughts work more like quantity, one, or deep type. Which one works best? Like with quantity one or deeper one? Quantity of one or deeper one? Oh, in terms of like having it, like an affirmation? I tend to, I don't know if this is exactly what you're asking, Emily, but I tend to think of depth as being more needed at this time than quantity. And that goes for pretty much anything because we're bombarded. I mean, like the way the world is working right now, we're like constantly bombarded by stimulus, and there's so much abundance of everything. There's abundance of information. There's abundance of stuff, literally access to things around us, just abundance of options, constantly options. And what we're actually lacking right now, because I mean, both have their purpose, right? Oh, there's that sun. Both have their purpose, right? But what we're really lacking now, just in the whole, in like themes of the world, is depth, sitting with something. That's why I like doing long form content, like live streams, podcasts, longer videos, because it's about actually sitting with something, giving it your full attention and full depth. So for me, if you're talking about like the quantity, like the amount of times you might do an affirmation, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but this is kind of how I'm reading it, so let me know. I would say that doing it once or twice, actually it's really nice to have a rhythm, like having something in the morning, something at night, a bookend, and just really fully feeling it and fully being present with it as you say it, just fully conscious that that is what's needed right now. So let me know if that is what you're asking. I wonder if I can, this happened last time. It's like the sun peeked through the clouds and then suddenly I've got this big chop of sunlight on my screen. Let me see if I can fix that really fast. Okay, let's see if that helps a little bit. Is that better? I think that's better. All right, I'm just checking my notes here. Okay, yeah. All right, so now let's talk about the virtue according to Rudolf Steiner. And Anthroposophy is the spiritual science that I study. It's the stream that I'm in. And Anthroposophy was really brought by Rudolf Steiner. And he associated a virtue with each zodiac sign. And the virtue actually transforms into something even higher. So you have something that's already virtuous, and then it transforms actually into like a higher version of itself too. And that's something that we can really, focus on bringing forth within ourselves during these periods of time, especially during the season of a certain sign. And then I also like to look at when the moon is in a certain sign. So I'm also really inspired. I wanted to mention this channel. It's on YouTube. It's also a podcast, and it's called Astral Arc. And I've been especially listening to the first 2 seasons of it, talking about these anthroposophical virtues in relationship to the zodiac sign. So definitely look that up if you're interested more in going deeper or curious like where some of these things come from. But there were a few things I wrote down from listening to it this latest time. So to start, for Leo, the virtue is compassion. And the transformation is compassion becomes freedom. And it's kind of a curious thing to contemplate for a second. Wait, what? What does that mean? Compassion becomes freedom. And so the first thing I thought, well, wow, yes, compassion and the heart, and Leo being that heart, you know, that sign, that sun at your heart. That's what I think of with Leo. And okay, compassion becoming freedom. But then freedom, it's like, well, I mean, the first part, compassion, okay. But then freedom, it's like we think of freedom as being like an individual thing. Like I'm free when I can choose what I want to do, and I get to do that. I'm free. I can do what I want. You know what I mean? And it becomes this very kind of like individual, self-oriented sort of a concept. So how is it that compassion becomes freedom? And here's some of the interesting things that I found through going deeper with it, listening to the astral arc, and really thinking about it. Compassion requires you to go beyond your own limitations. It requires you to exit your sphere of self and touch another, or to have that interest and have that care, have that empathy towards another being. So in a way, it's like this sort of boundary of like, here's myself. I'm not talking about boundaries are healthy, but more so like this, if you feel trapped within, because that's the interesting thing, like maybe it's actually a feeling of being trapped if you're only oriented about yourself. It's actually quite restrictive, which is interesting, thinking back to Vervain and how we were talking about how it ends up actually, you know, if it's out of balance, can be kind of restrictive, the Vervain. Whereas compassion, you actually free yourself and you move out of that limitation, if that makes sense, because you're going outwards and you're touching another. You're caring about another. Another is in your consciousness, or things outside of yourself are in your consciousness. And we are transformed by that. We're transformed in relationship to other people. We are not transformed in isolation. And I think this is actually a big thing, a difference in the Western path of initiation versus Eastern, is that Eastern, you often kind of seclude yourself, you pull yourself into more isolation, you go deep within, but it's from a place of like asceticism, it's from a place of kind of separation. Whereas the Western path is more so like, how can I, in my daily life and in the relationships with people and in the work that I'm doing in the world, which is very much in the world and experiencing the world as it is, how can I find my path of initiation, find enlightenment, if you will, like in those places. So we are transformed by others, in the meeting of others, in the karma that we have with others that we've already set ahead of time, like, yes, we need to transform this. I need, together, or in finding the energy that helps me from another person to transform something within myself, and in reciprocation, I also am helping them to transform something in them, or at least giving them the opportunity to, right? So in meeting others and in having that compassion, we experience transformation, and that liberates us. So that's freedom. And we can't develop in isolation. So I thought that was really curious about how compassion can become freedom. So yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts about that so far. I pulled an oracle card for today, and it's from my favorite deck, the Mother Mary Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And I actually haven't read the description of this yet. I just pulled the card, and actually I read the first line. I have to be honest. I read the very first line, and I was like, well, there we go. This is for today. So the card is Our Lady of the Rose Child. And get this, here's the first line. Torn open by suffering, you have become vulnerable and compassionate. So I haven't read the rest yet, but I thought, okay, this is definitely related to what we're talking about. Most definitely. First of all, the imagery on this card is fiery and heart-filled. But also, it's literally got the word compassion in there. Torn open by suffering, you've become vulnerable and compassionate. And something I wanted to say about that is, again, like when we think of more of the self-oriented positioning, where you're just, you're thinking about yourself, and you're thinking like, if I'm to be more free, I have more access to what I want, I have more freedom to do what I want to do with my time, and you probably move yourself towards wanting to be more comfortable, right? Or wanting to, like, it's like self-oriented, like I want comfort, I want, X, Y, and Z. But in this other path, which is actually real true freedom, because you're being transformed and you're opening up and you're raising up, and that's actually spiritually true freedom, you might be, like this line says, torn open by suffering. You become vulnerable, but in doing so you become compassionate. So I'll keep reading this oracle card description, and let's see the journey that it takes us on. Strengthened through joy, you become light of spirit and accepting of all life. You are her rose child. To become what you are, you have endured the agony of breaking open as a seed, found inner strength to push down roots, and the focused intention to rise above the earth. You have been thorns and branches, finding ways to protect yourself from predators as you reach out to the light. And now your heart, the fragrant blooming rose, is opening. The process repeats as we transform and become capable of receiving more life force, growing into a bigger manifestation of soul light upon the earth. At such points on the path, we come into direct contact with the divine. This isn't always what we think it will be. Though the mother loves and protects her holy child, which is your own soul, beloved, she does not try to stop that child from growing. That would not be mothering. That would be smothering, which does not allow for life to promote growth, but prevents it, no matter how well-meaning that overprotection may be. I just want to jump in there with that and say, oh wow, we could also do that for ourselves. In protecting our own interests, we can almost like actually smother what's needed for ourselves for growth. And actually in growth, there's freedom. So there's a, there's a relationship to those concepts there. That's really interesting. Back to the description. It says, allowing more contact with the divine means more of life pumps through our being. That is joy, and that can also be agony. These cannot be separated. The devotee of the Divine Mother understands that the connection with the peace of the spiritual presence is not about avoiding life, but becoming strong enough to bear it, to grow through it, to become radiant, a living divine soul made flesh. The Holy Mother protects her child without interfacing in what is genuinely required for the soul to become all that it is destined to be, a living divine being on earth. When the child suffers, how she howls in agony, feeling every pain as though it were her own. Sometimes that suffering is more than the Holy Child can bear, and so she intervenes, absorbing the impact and keeping the child safe from harm. At other times, the suffering is a part of life, such as the loss that goes hand in hand with human love. At these times, she is in the pain with her child, but does not try to shield the child from the mysteries of life which, though painful sometimes, actually feed the soul with the richness of human experience. When the child triumphs, how she dances, ignited in delight and happiness as her child shines true. She is willing to bear it because that is the gift of life through which the soul is empowered into divinity. The oracle of Our Lady of the Rose Child comes with a special message. If you have been suffering, do not believe that the mother has turned away from you. She is in your heart, suffering with you. She is bearing this and asking that you bear it because she loves you. And this is your way to outgrow that which is too small for your fortune. Your breaking heart is the seed cracking open so that new life can begin. She is protecting you from unnecessary struggle, yet there are challenges which are essential for your soul to grow. These challenges will not be withheld from you because you are entitled to become your full self. Her message is this: from any suffering, great love will be born. Surrender into your pain and find the path through it, for that path is there and new life is awaiting you. The mother will help you find the path through any pain or struggle. Nothing is impossible for her love. Know that your current struggle is blessed, and although this may not make much sense to the mind, this message can help the heart find some peace to bear this challenging part of your journey. Know that you are not alone, and the Heavenly Mother walks with you always. Pray to her, not for the challenge to be taken away, but for the courage, responsiveness, surrender, trust, and grace required to successfully move through it. You shall be so blessed. Another thing I really love about that message is about the pain and about bearing pain, because the truth is, when you open yourself up to compassion, compassion can be painful because you're opening yourself up to another's pain. And maybe you're also bearing that pain with them in the same way. But in doing so, you're raising yourself up to be like the divine that is there bearing our pain with us too, your pain with you, just like the oracle said. Yeah. I love that. So I was just, I'm really amazed right now, actually. Like, that's the card that came with this because it is so perfect. And that happened, I mean, the last 2 times too. It's like, oh yeah, this deck never fails me. I just have to say. Never fails. There it is again. So I have an option. If anyone wants to redeem oracle cards, you can do so via channel points, and you can also do so if you're a Ko-fi member. Just let me know if you do in the chat, if you do it from Ko-fi, because if you do the free option there, it doesn't give me a notification. So just let me know in the chat if you redeem one. I'll see it if you redeem one with the channel points. And otherwise, let's do a quick break. And I've got a little break video that talks about everything that we offer on this channel. So I will see you soon. You can get your journals ready because we'll come back. We'll do a journal prompt together. We'll do a writing sprint. If you have another project you want to work on, if there's something that would really make this week easier for you, if you're like, okay, if I do this, then my week will be easier. Because I think we'll have a good, I want to say, 25 minutes. Maybe we'll do 25 minutes for the journaling. And I can't remember how long I did last time. Yesterday when I was thinking about doing this stream, I was thinking, I want a 45-minute time to journal and sprint. But now that I'm here, I'm thinking, okay, let's try 25 minutes. We could always extend it if we need to. But yeah, so you could use that time in other ways. If there's something that sets you up really well for this next week, you could meditate. You could, anyway, you can think about it on the break about what you want to do. And I will see you really soon. Hello everyone, Violet here, and welcome to my channel. Whether you're brand new here or a longtime subscriber, I started creating content in 2020. I started with planner content, Plan With Me live streams, and then I moved into reading tarot via live stream. If you want to book me privately for a private intuitive card reading, you can do so via my Ko-fi page. I decided to take my readings off stream so they'd be a bit more private, and I would love to meet with you. So you can get a reading from me via Ko-fi, and there are two options. You can get one that is a written or a video reading that I take your question on my own, I create it and get back to you. Or you can book me for an hour and a half and we will have a conversation, go back and forth, and really try to get to the bottom of what it is you want to look at in your reading. So now I'd love to tell you about some of the other fun things that I offer and some of the membership tiers for the membership possibilities. So I've created an oracle deck and a booklet to go along with it, and that is available on the Game Crafter as well as some of my other creations if you want to check that out. And even more of my creations and offerings are available on my Etsy shop. So on Ko-fi, I have memberships for bonus spiritual content, and on Patreon, I have memberships for bonus creative content. But I thought I'd go through the different tiers of membership, starting with the cheapest option and then all the way up to the most supportive. So the basic Twitch subscription or YouTube membership is called Hummingbirds, and this also includes discounts in my Etsy and Ko-fi shops, as well as any entrance into giveaways if I do a giveaway, and access to a private Discord channel. And then, of course, if you subscribe on Twitch or become a member on YouTube, you also have access to emotes and badges and all of the fun stuff that comes with those types of memberships. Also, as part of the Hummingbirds tier and Birdie's Besties, which we'll get into in a second, and going up pretty much any of those, you have access to my full archive of YouTube videos. And I have over 200 videos that, I created along my journey that I've since narrowed it down on my channel to what I want to have public as like my public face. But if you want more personal videos and some really fun stuff like ghost hunting, things like that, as well as card readings for seasonal lunar phases, then those all open up as unlisted playlists, and it's available for all of the members on YouTube, Twitch, and Ko-fi. The next tier up is called Birdie's Besties. It's available on Ko-fi, and you get all of the same benefits as the Hummingbirds tier, except for the things that are specific to YouTube or Twitch, like the emotes and badges and that sort of thing. With this one, you get free oracle card readings. You ask a question, I'll pull you a card, we discuss, and that's available when I'm live on stream. And you can also get one per month messaged to you. You can send me your question and I'll message you an oracle card and we can talk about it each month. So next we have the Constellation Club tier, and this is for people who really want to get into developing themselves spiritually and learning about esoterica. I'm really into classical esoterica. I've created a bunch of resources and documents that's available for anyone on that tier, and writing and very helpful stuff, journal prompts for the different lunar phases and everything like that. And I also offer private live stream Q&As where we can talk about anything's on the table, spiritual topics. And I don't like to talk about some of this stuff publicly as much because it can go really deep and it can take time to explain, and it can also be confronting to people. But I do have this available for Constellation Club members. I am deep into years of research in classical esoterica and mysticism, and anytime I get 5 questions or more, I will do a live stream, up to one a month, and catch all of your questions. And there's a form that you can submit the questions through. You can use your username, or they can be anonymous, and you can submit as many as you want. So you can even submit 5 and we'll go live and we'll do a Q&A. And then anyone who's able to show up from the Constellation Club will also be able to ask questions during the Q&A as well. The Constellation Club is available on Ko-fi, YouTube, and Twitch, and includes the benefits from the previous tiers. At the same price point, we have the Creativity Companions on Patreon. So on Patreon, you continue to get the discounts, entrance into giveaways, and that sort of thing. But this one is more on the personal and creative side. So you'll see updates on my art projects and creative stuff. But the biggest thing I offer on there too is access to my first novel that I actually wrote almost entirely on live stream and edited on live stream. So people here, you're all part of my journey with this as well. And the whole thing is available on Patreon, so you can read it, and it's organized by chapter. I also offer on here personal Q&A, so you can use a similar form to the Constellation Club to submit a question, and I will make a post or make a video or something like that on my Patreon to address the question, any reasonable question. And then we have the Card Slingers tier, which is my tarot course. And the Card Slingers membership is available on Ko-fi, YouTube, and Twitch, and includes the benefits from the previous tiers. I would love for you to be a part of my tarot course. As a tarot reader with many years of experience, I've read for hundreds of people, I've built up a tarot business both online and in person. This has really been the culmination of how I see the system and how I can see it being the most graspable, especially if you're new, and also going deep for if you're already a seasoned reader as well. So this is available as a $25 per month membership. All of the links and details are down below. It's really something that you could choose to go all the way through and complete in 1 month, or you could have access to it as long as you'd like. This includes 22 video lessons in which we'll go through each of the cards of the major arcana, but then also the cards themselves, the characters of the cards, the archetypes of the cards, they have something to teach us about the rest of the tarot system. So we learn the entire system of tarot, as well as techniques for giving readings, building a business, creating spreads, choosing a deck, all sorts of things like that included on this journey in a very organic way that follows the system of the tarot itself. Each lesson also includes a summary and some journal prompts and reflections and activities that if you then email to me, you will earn a certificate at the end. Also included is access to a private forum just for Card Slingers students on my Discord, beautiful Discord community, where you can chat with people, you can chat with me, you can discuss what you're learning, and you can also read for each other and do some practice sessions. Also included in this are all of the benefits from previous tiers. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being a part of the channel and, supporting in any way, whether that's engagement or being in the community on Discord or, supporting in some of these bigger ways. All of it means the world to me, and just thank you so much for being along this journey with me. I will see you next time. Hey everyone, we're back. We're back. Welcome back. Okay, so I've got our full moon in Leo journal prompt here. So hopefully you've got your journals ready or something to work on. We're going to be doing a 25-minute writing sprint. Oh, I meant to change the category to writing. Let me see. I feel like I have to do that on a different browser. At least last time, that's what it made me do. Apologies, we can get settled while I figure this out. Okay. I think this will actually work just fine. I am logged in here. Sometimes it takes forever to log in to Twitch. Does anyone ever find that problem? It's like always needs like double. I know that like multiple, what's the word? Like when you have to verification, like you have to like verify with your phone or something, or like email and like two-factor, that's what I'm talking about, 2 or 3-factor identification or whatever. It just makes everything take so long. Okay, hold on. We're changing the category to writing and reading. There we go. Wait, did I just move something on my screen? I think so. Hold on. I'm a mess. Okay, we're all good now. We're back. We're good. We're good. Okay. All right, so you can also grab a deck if you would like, because we've also got a card pull for a tarot deck or an oracle deck, actually. It used to say tarot pull on there, and I changed it to card pull because I was like, you know what? There are definitely some oracle decks that could be good for this too. So I leave that up to you. But like I said earlier, if you want to, you can also use our divination tent option in the Discord. So that is also available. All right, so the journal prompt. Oh, wait, I was going to say, hold on. Let me pull up my notes because actually I was going to say something about it first. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so this journal prompt is more related to what we create and do in the world, but I think that it is very much related to this idea of compassion and of finding freedom in compassion, and especially if we think about like what we want to ray out from the heart and what we want to express in the world. And so my association with Leo being especially connected to creativity, I think also really rings in this journal prompt. So hopefully it is helpful for you. Hopefully you connect with it. But yeah, so here's the prompt. It says, look at all of the ways you have designed and created this life for yourself. Celebrate all the good and true that you've been able to weave around you. What does your current life circumstances show you about your inner world and your willing effort? How can you continue to design a life that puts your sense of purpose and passion at the center? And then you can pull a card along with it, a tarot deck, an oracle deck, even an affirmation deck, now that since we were working with some affirmations earlier. The card pull is, what is something in my life to look at more clearly and consciously? So we're lighting the light from the full moon, the light from the sun of Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun, and it is, again, I think of the sun at the heart, and that's Leo to me. We're raying that light out on our life, and we're seeing things clearly for what they are and what they could be. So what is something in my life to look at more clearly and consciously? All right, so I'm thinking let's start a sprint. I'll put on music. Let's do 25 minutes. So let's see here. Yeah. Timer 25, 0. Okay, are you all ready to go? We can journal together. Like I said, feel free if you want to work on something else too. You can let me know what you're working on. And let's do it. All right, we're back. So I hope if you took some time with this journal prompt that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. And if you were working on anything else, happy to celebrate that too. All productivity, all effort is good effort, and that's wonderful. If you took the time to meditate, that's also so great. So yeah, welcome back. That was a good 25 minutes. Yeah, so in my own journaling, I really looked at my life and oh, hey, my happy full moon. Welcome in. How are you? You're a Leo, aren't you? Am I making that up? I'm thinking of you as a Leo. You're working on a faucet. Oh my gosh. Wow, this has been a week for water problems for me. Actually, for the school that I work at, not so much at home. Leo moon and risings, enough Leo. That must be what I'm thinking of. Not Leo, but hey, Leo moon. And it's about, and tomorrow is a Leo full moon. So there you go. It's your moon. It was raining yesterday, like all day, Dead Chrome. Oh my goodness. Did you get snow? So we have so much snow. I was saying earlier, like, oh yeah, 2 feet of snow. It might have been 3 feet of snow. Like, it's so much snow. I can't even emphasize enough how much. I've never seen so much snow in my life. We have these giant tall piles. I still need to. It would be really fun with Arthur to like make one of these piles into an igloo. Like, it's already like all piled up, or like some kind of snow house or snow fort or something like that with my son. But yeah, I haven't yet. I haven't braved the cold yet. But yeah, you're working on a faucet, it was so cold and so frigid that the pipes had so much trouble at his school, and we were just dealing with like pipes and water, and what do we do without pipes and water, and we have a lot of indoor space at the school, which is like really warm and cozy, but Arthur's kindergarten is in a yurt, which is so cool. But it's a big yurt, and it takes a lot to get it warmed up. So people had to get there 2.5 hours early to do the wood stove. And I may have not accidentally, I actually felt, I was like, I'm supposed to volunteer for this. I may have volunteered myself to get up and go to the yurt at 5 a.m. on Fridays and warm it up. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No, I was like, this is my duty. Like, I am to do this. You know what I mean? I really felt my heart too before I offered. I was like, is this coming from a place of people pleasing, or am I legitimately the person that is like supposed to volunteer to do this? And I really wanted the answer to be like, you're people pleasing, stop people pleasing. But in my heart, I was like, no, I'm supposed to volunteer to do it. Anyway, your kitchen faucet kind of gave up. Your partner installed the new one for the last hour, so you could only lurk. Aw, thanks for being here lurking, Mai. You heard about all the snow. It's crazy. Hamburg also has the coldest January since 2010 and some snow all month. Do you still have some on the ground? Yeah. Well, so in my journaling, I really thought about all in my life that has led up to where I am now, and how everything, even when I didn't realize it, like everything really aligned for this to be my path and for this to be like where I am. And it's so curious when you kind of hit those points where it's like, okay, I've landed somewhere. That doesn't mean I'm done. I'm on a path and I'm on a journey, but I've landed into something. And then when I see everything and see, oh yeah, everything can be used. Like everything had a purpose. Every experience I went through, every lesson, like it can all be used now, and that's really incredible. And sometimes it's hard to remember that when you're in the midst of chaos or confusion, or like needing to make a decision, or needing to like change your life direction. It can be hard to see how all those things line up. But yeah, so I was writing a bit about that, and then the card pull that I got for what to look at more clearly and consciously was the 5 of Cups. And that stumped me for a moment. So this is a card often about, loss, grief. And I realized, oh my goodness, I mean, I can just sort of read part of what I wrote. I wrote, in order to grow, I have to see all that I missed, all that I was unconscious to, how much time I've let slip by, and all that isn't love. And that's something I've really learned from my teacher in Waldorf teacher training, is as you're on the path of love, you encounter all that isn't love. And I mean, it's a hard thing to encounter. It makes me think of, again, this concept of compassion becoming freedom. What we were talking about earlier with Leo, compassion becoming freedom. And it's like, in order to be on this path of freedom, you must learn love. And in learning love, there's pain. There's all that came in with that Mother Mary card that we read. So it all feels fitting. But it's not easy. And I do encounter that, as I do become more present, or as I do become more, even honestly, even in how much I feel like I've grown spiritually, I realize how much I don't know if lacking is quite the right word. It's how much I hadn't realized at different points. But then that's good, because that's growth and that's freedom, But, yeah, there's a lot to face. There's a lot to face on it. Well, I wanted to end our discussion with another affirmation. So I really like to compare the 12 healers, the 12 flower essence healers that we're talking about, original by Dr. Bach. And we talked about vervain and how that is, connected to Leo. And the one that I found in relationship to that from FES, from Flower Essence Society, was lotus. So I look at the 12 core heart flower remedies from FES, and I like to do all sorts of things with them. I've made this chart of those as well, but see how they connect with the 12 healers too. And for the one in relationship to vervain, I chose lotus. And it's interesting because this is a flower remedy, especially for a feeling of spiritual superiority. I know we've all encountered that, whether externally or internally or both. Being on a path of, it's one of the pitfalls, right, of being on a spiritual path, is a feeling of spiritual superiority, or almost separating yourself, or saying oh, I'm not a part of that. I'm above that, and so lotus is a remedy to that. And I appreciate too that lotus is such an incredible image on a lot of the Eastern paths. And I think that is something, when we were talking about earlier about asceticism and kind of removing yourself from society, that is one of the major pitfalls that can happen on one of those paths. So this idea that this flower essence is a remedy to that is incredible. But I wanted to read to you a little bit, just one passage from The Light on the Path, because in the past 2 episodes, the one for Sagittarius season, the one for Capricorn season, we made it through, I think it was actually the Capricorn one, that we made it through the first 4 rules on The Light on the Path. And I just felt like this next one, number 5, is so fitting. So this is huge, and I've been sitting with this one actually, so it's perfect that we're talking about it. Number 5, kill out all sense of separateness. Note, do not fancy you can stand aside from the bad man or the foolish man. They are yourself, though in a less degree than your friend or your master, which I think she's talking about your divine, what you look at for divine inspiration. This is by Mabel Collins, by the way. It's an old text, so it's got a little bit of like older language. But if you allow the idea of separateness from any evil thing or person to grow up within you, by doing so, you can create karma, which will bind you to that thing or person, till your soul recognizes that it cannot be isolated. Remember that the sin and shame of the world are your sin and shame, for you are a part of it. Your karma is inextricably interwoven with the great karma. And before you can attain knowledge, you must have passed through all places, foul and clean alike. Therefore, remember that the soiled garment you shrink from touching may have been yours yesterday, may be yours tomorrow. And if you turn with horror from it, when it is flung upon your shoulders, it will cling the more closely to you. The self-righteous man makes for himself a bed of mire. Abstain because it is right to abstain, not that yourself shall be kept clean. There's so much in that. There's so much in that. And yeah, I always feel like I can't speak for it. It just, there it is. Remember that the soiled garment you shrink from touching may have been yours yesterday, may be yours tomorrow. Even thinking across lifetimes, right? And then this last line, abstain because it is right to abstain, not that yourself shall be kept clean. I think that's interesting, especially with the concepts of like asceticism and what we were talking about before. Before you can attain knowledge, you must have passed through all places, foul and clean alike. But I feel like there's such a gift going back to, I mean, this card that I pulled, the Five of Cups, in relationship to what is something to look at more clearly and consciously. It's like we have to move through that pain and we have to experience it. We have to be a part of it, cause it even. We have to experience all these things because we're all connected and it's part of the world to do that. We didn't come to this world for everything to be easy, to just like, manifest what it is that we want, what makes us comfortable. No, it's we're put through, we're ground up, we're put through it in order to transform, and in transformation we find the freedom. So here's the Lotus affirmation. In my being lives the flowering of the spiritual world. I synthesize all soul experience into one expression of self. I am the spirit-filled, universal self. Oh, there we go. You love the Lotus, Mai? Oh yeah, I'm seeing this. At the moment, just a little layer, but still snowy. I do love the snow, I have to say. I do love winter. Arthur said winter is his favorite season. Yeah. You're sorry. Oh, you missed your boss. Your boss has been calling all morning. You've missed so much. You want to rewatch. Will there be a VOD? Amber, totally. And don't worry about that. Yeah. So I'm turning this into a podcast. So this is the 3rd episode, and I'm actually editing it so you can get all of the kind of the vital information. And it ends up usually being like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Let me open Discord again. I accidentally turned off streamer mode, so then I felt like the notifications were coming in and making sound. Okay, let's see here. Oh, perfect. It just turned it back on. Yeah, so let me see. I have this. Did I put it here? Anyway, I've got a playlist going. That's the podcast, and it's on YouTube, and I can just grab you the link really fast. But yeah, let me know if you all had any insights with your card pulls, if you did it, with your journal prompts. I'm just going to get this link. Okay. Yeah, it ends up only being like 30 or 40 minutes an episode. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Amber, yeah, here it is. So that's kind of what I'm doing with that. And really with that, I'm just editing it so that all the information is there. But of course, there's going to be a VOD of the whole thing. And I'm actually going to start putting VODs up on YouTube. I found a way to do this, which actually I think this is really interesting to say towards content creators. Because, okay, you know how there's a lot of people want to upload VODs to YouTube because they disappear on Twitch, and it's nice to have that archive. But as you learn YouTube, VODs don't do as great, like in the algorithm or whatever. There's these things you have to think about. Because basically, people are more likely to click on a video that's like made as a video. So I figured out, in case anyone's interested, that you can actually, on your front page of YouTube, which I really like to sort of curate that and how that looks, you can actually list things. Like, for example, you can have an unlisted playlist with unlisted videos in it, and you can put that on your front page of YouTube, and anyone can click on it and see it, but it doesn't show up in your, like, uploaded videos, and it doesn't affect your algorithm for the next video you post. So if you want to have something like an archive and you want it to be there and accessible to people without like having to come to you for a link, you can still do that without posting it. Yeah, and I'm actually kind of using this in a lot of different ways. I'm glad you like that. Because for example too, like, I've got my NaNoWriMo videos. I was doing, like, daily updates for NaNoWriMo. They're, like, less than 5 minutes long each one for 30 days. And they're kind of silly, and sometimes I look a mess. And I'm like, it's, like, early morning, or it's, like, late at night. I'm like, okay, this is my plan for today, or this is what I did. I was posting these daily updates, and they're really not, like, as videos, it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's not something someone's going to search for and be interested in. But then I made them unlisted, but then I made the playlist public. So it's like, if you go to my channel and you go to my playlist, I've got a playlist that is like NaNoWriMo 2021, I think was the year I did it, 2021. And then you can see all of the daily updates. So that's fun. Like, I find that fun if that's specifically like what you're looking for. But in terms of actually being put out there on YouTube, or like listed on my videos, I didn't want them there as much, if that makes sense. So there are kind of tricks and ways to do that. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that I'm now going to have full VODs up, like an archive of Twitch VODs, but if you go to my YouTube homepage, that's where you'll see them, and otherwise it's not like posted, you know what I mean? But maybe I'll put them in the Discord. Anyway, figuring out technology and social media stuff. I can only handle one. I was telling people, like, I can't learn Instagram. I can't learn other things. I can only learn YouTube. And then I can use Twitch, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't know, maybe it's a generation thing, but I feel like I can only, no, it's not, because there are people like same generation who totally got it across all platforms. But for me, I don't know. It's like I can learn one. So that's the one. Hey, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And happy almost full moon. Full moon tomorrow, Leo full moon. And happy Imbolc. It lines up on Imbolc. I know we talked about Imbolc earlier and some of the correlations with that. February 1st and 2nd. I was saying, don't feel bad if you're not doing something huge for the Sabbath. I actually think of Imbolc as being like a quiet and internal one. So even if you're just lighting a candle, even if you're just having a nice cup of cacao, am I right, Mai? I love that you love cacao too. nice cup of cacao, or pull a card for yourself. It's simple gestures. Really, that's all you need. Okay. Well, I suppose perhaps I'll find someone to raid. It's kind of nice to meet new people in the writing category. I'm going to get back into editing my novel, so I might be on this category a bit more. So maybe we go and we meet someone, and that might be fun. You just got 3 new ones. You need to post them later in Discord. Please do, Mai. Yes, please. So I'm going to put on the ending screen, but please stick around. Let's go on a raid. I'll put the music back on. Ending screen. I'll find someone to raid. And we'll just meet a new person, if that sounds good. All right. Here comes the music. Bye, happy full moon. Bye, Amber. Bye, Mai. Thank you for hanging out. Bye, DC, if you're still there.